Want to see a cool Bitcoin scenario? There it is. That yellow bars pattern that you see on the screen. That is what I'm going to be speculating about today. So please just hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. This will be a technical analysis on Bitcoin today. And as I always say, even if you hold other altcoins, not Bitcoin, this is important. The next move that happens. I'll even discuss downside if this doesn't play out. But I really want to just talk about why I think right now is it's like the make or break moment for Bitcoin. And we come across these moments so often on the charts. And this is a daily chart, and we are there. So let me kind of just break this down. First things first, I can't help but just see this weekly candle playing out. 2 days, 8 hours left still. The reason why it's so important is if you just look at that 20-week moving average, that is a critical area in a bull market for Bitcoin. If we zoom out on Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin on the weekly. Let me actually go to this chart so we get a better sense of where we are in the cycle. But here's Bitcoin on the weekly. 20-week moving average in bull markets, Bitcoin typically stays above that area, right? And you can just look at previous cycles. There was that last cycle. Here's 2 cycles ago. You see that green line. Here's 3 cycles ago. See that green line. We're going all the way back to 2013 here. It's a really important area. And Bitcoin right now, this week is crucial. It really is almost a make or break type of deal. I'll talk about towards the later part of the video what downside would look like if Bitcoin fails here to do what it's done in previous cycles. But I really want to break down this. So let me explain this. Right now, we have this pattern that has set up, and we have a target to the upside of around $85,000 or so. We can call it $85,000, $90,000. Here's the pattern. It's just kind of a trending down type of channel with lower lows and lower highs. And Bitcoin right now kind of towards the upper end. So what I wanted to do first, before we talk about the very next move for Bitcoin, I want to talk about that speculative bars pattern, a breakout scenario, because what is happening right here is very similar to what we had previously on this chart. So let me actually, before I even show that, let me open up the RSI, and I just want to show you Bitcoin in kind of this similar move to the upside, right? So check this out. And it's actually even more oversold here than it was at this moment. So we had a very big move to the downside of consolidation on the RSI. You can see that there. Bitcoin's still trending up. But it's this. It's the 20-day moving average. You can see in green right there in that move, falling below the 50 and then pivoting back above the 50. Now, all in that move, you can see Bitcoin is falling below both moving averages, right? That could have been, bear signal, huge bear signal. There are other indicators to look for in all of these types of moves. Obviously, this wasn't a massive bear signal. This was a really nice illustration of the end of all of this consolidation, right? And Bitcoin continued higher. Bitcoin's in a very similar area now as it was to right then. And so we're in a very similar move. You can see the 20-week moving average falling below the 50, now trending back to the 50. And here's what we have happening. Back here, Bitcoin consolidated right around the 50 and the 20. Right now, Bitcoin's consolidating just above the 50 and the 20, the blue and green line. And so the fractal kind of comes from if Bitcoin, and a reminder, it's even more oversold on the stock RSI in this consolidation than this move back here. But you can see the powerful move that Bitcoin still put in. If we get a similar move to the upside, we can take the bars pattern and we can just overlay it, right? So we're in this kind of area of consolidation for Bitcoin. So we can take it from there and draw it to that swing high. This is kind of a picture, and we adjust. I do this often. I'll adjust the bars pattern, the volatility of it, the speed of it. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. This is just a breakout scenario. You can see up here around $85,000, this could be what it looks like. Now, I want to just mention, while the bars pattern is there on the screen, it could look like this, right? Coming down to test these moving averages. It might happen. However, the key thing is here. The support at the moving averages. And if we go to the weekly chart, look at where the 20-week moving average is, around 65,500 or so. 65,500, right? And look at these daily moving averages. That's below that area. So this area down here, incredibly crucial for support, these moving averages, because if this 20-week moving average falls, first off, we need to look for where is the support on this screen. And there it is. It's these moving averages. And it's not that far below where Bitcoin is. So maybe it doesn't play out like this and we get the breakout right away. Maybe there's going to be consolidation and some fear on the weekly chart if we fall back below the 20-week moving average. But those moving averages there are crucial. And this is what the move could look like for Bitcoin, the move to the breakout target of $85,000 or so. Right now, if we look at this, if we kind of measure where Bitcoin is right now, we're looking at around, for all-time high, around 8 to 9% away from all-time high area, right? So when we start zooming out on the daily, we really start getting a picture of not only what's in store potentially if we get a breakout for Bitcoin in the short term, but what's in store in the long term. Because again, the Bitcoin halving just happened. And if we're going to get higher highs and higher lows now at this moment, we are just right now testing all-time highs basically from the previous bull cycle. And in my opinion, with everything going on right now, there is a lot of separation to be had from this general area. This is where Bitcoin is right now. It is kind of like a launch pad. If Bitcoin fails, I will still probably be doing macro bullish videos because I am macro bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. But I just do want to mention, if Bitcoin fails, I'd be anticipating this 50-week moving average down here as kind of that next level of major support. And you can see confluent with that area is the bull market doors for Bitcoin. This could just be a grueling process for this potential super cycle. But swing high of the last bull market to the bear market swing low. And you can just see there's that Fibonacci. So all in there, we've bounced off of the Fibonacci. Right now, the move alone is just so good. And if we look back on this chart and this was the bounce, it would make so much sense to come revisit that Fibonacci in the way that it did and then continue to the bull market. But we're not that far above the Fibonacci, and the 20-week moving average is still kind of iffy whether we're going to get that support that we need even this week. If Bitcoin falls back into the Fibonacci, I'd be looking at the entire Fibonacci range, right? And we have that lower end range around $48,000 or so. And then the 50-week moving average right around $49,000 or so. This could just be a macro fear event where Bitcoin starts falling down to the area. I don't think that necessarily means we're entering a bear market. In my opinion, at this stage of the cycle, with all the data that we have in terms of Bitcoin, on-chain metrics, what's going on with crypto in general, it does not make sense to me from a data perspective, not emotionally, that we'd be entering some type of bear market. But if we're in a super cycle, pain, patience, all that stuff, it might just have to be what it is before going higher. But this video really about a potential shorter term breakout for Bitcoin. But I caution, and this is for me especially, giving it more time. Here's the upper trend line of that channel. Here's a moving average, the 50, the 20, the 200. So we might need some consolidation before the breakout, but we will see. Wanted to do a video on that, especially because the comparison of just this consolidation happening here and the consolidation that happened previously back here, last time we had this 20-day cross below the 50 and back above, very similar in my view. So let's see what happens. Those are my thoughts on Bitcoin today. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.